One of the major problems is that fear of failure keeps many people from doing awesome stuff that they would love. I've read and talked with students, for example, who love a particular subject or a job or an activity, and they really want to do it, but they're not going to do it because it's hard and it's challenging, and they might not get a good grade on it, and that will bring down their GPA. Because they see failure as this pass or fail, this binary thing. They're not going to engage in meaningful activities just because they're afraid they might fail. Like, if you do it, you have to succeed based on this one definition. We see writing that way. Writing is not pass-fail. When you read a book, you don't say, this writer either fails as a writer or succeeds as a writer. It's a continuum. You can be a better or worse writer. The only way to get better is to write. And I know a lot of people who want to write, who are creative, but they're afraid if they write something and put it out there, it might fail. It might get a failing grade. It might not be good enough. How do you there is no good enough. You just keep trying to get better, and you only do that when you're not afraid to put it out there. And you're not afraid if you grow and down the road you're like, yeah, my old writings, I consider those failures compared to my current writings, which I'll probably consider failures in the future, but I'm not so afraid. I don't see it as it's only worth creating when I know that I won't fail. That's the danger. Where in the real world, it's not like that at all. It's not like, hey, if you try this, you will either fail or succeed, and that's it. And success only happens by getting the following sequence of things. It's completely open-ended. You can try a million different things. Some of them won't work out as well as others. Some of them, and it's not this binary thing. You can succeed to greater or lesser degree. Many failures could actually be successes depending upon how you define it. So maybe you're running a successful business, but you're making some money, but you could be much happier and making much more money doing something else. So your opportunity cost is really high. If you look at it purely as what you're bringing in, you could say that's a success, but what you could otherwise be doing, you could say, you sort of failed to maximize your own happiness. It's not this binary pass-fail. And that mindset is what's so dangerous and what I rail against, and I think Praxis is trying to preach against. Don't be so binary, so linear in your thinking that it's like, well, I either pass or fail, and I'm so pressured I gotta pick the right thing, because if I ever fail, I'm dead. It's catastrophic. Failure should not be catastrophic. You should want success and not be crushed when you fail. So you can see this in sports, right? Everyone says it and we all know it in our gut. It's really hard to define, and I almost think trying to define it too much sort of does away with the lesson. You can tell when a team is playing to win versus playing not to lose. If you're playing not to fail, if fear of failure is your primary motivation, and again, you can define that in a lot of different ways, I think you're going to struggle a lot more. You're going to have a harder time succeeding probably, but most of all, if you fail, you will have a massively hard time recovering. Whereas if you're playing to win and it's all out there, you're going to be ticked off when you fail. You're going to be ticked off when you fail for sure. But you were playing to win, you didn't win, failure's not catastrophic. You're able to pick yourself up more, and you're also able to enjoy it more while you're doing it in the process. So, to me, again, failure sucks. The only thing worse is fear of failure. So I don't ever advocate like, yay, fail, failure's awesome. Try to fail as many times as you can. The point is, try to succeed at everything you do. But understand that success is defined by you. And success comes in a million different ways, and it's an ongoing process of experimentation. And if and when you fail, that doesn't mean you are a failure, because it's not this single definition of success and failure, this single ladder that you have to climb, and if you miss a rung, you fall down and you die or whatever. Fear of failure and the inability to recover from failure, the way that you define it, if you're like, my business failed, therefore I'm a failure, it will crush you. It will crush you. So you can't see that. You can't see the world that way. So I guess that's my way of saying I like what Thiel's saying here, that like it can go too far and like, yay, let's all praise failure and this is so fun and awesome and become really fluffy. Failure sucks. Fear of failure sucks more.